Guys, welcome back to the YouTube channel. So, before I get stuck into breakfast, and this looks really good, I'm really hungry, so I'm not gonna delay this too long. I'm going to go through the topic of today's video and just explain a little bit of that morning ritual routine. So, I'm gonna be discussing all the little 1% which make a huge difference for me and in turn have a big impact on the bigger rocks within your routine. Now, if you follow me for long enough, you know I'm not a big fan of doing pointless things. So you won't see in this video ice baths, like a huge stack of supplements. I'm all for doing meaningful routines or daily tick boxes, which, as I say, are going to have a greater impact in the long run. And actually just keeping a lot of the routines that have been established throughout going through multiple preps, and keep that throughout the off season as well. So this might be a good video to remind you to actually keep some of the habits that you once established, or to reintroduce them back into your routine. So let's just explain what I kind of ran through right at the beginning. Hydration, right? Big point, and one a lot of people miss as they move potentially from a prep into an off season is they forget to actually just track their water intake. And I like to just kind of keep this consistent. So I will have like a range, and I'll typically aim somewhere between 5 to 6 liters of water a day. But the important thing for me is first thing in the morning, I hydrate and get a good amount of water in. The reason being is I train around about sort of mid-afternoon. If I'm not hydrating before that session, that could have a knock-on impact into performance. So first thing in the morning, I get a litre down me, I have this with my breakfast, and then I'll top up my water bottle again before going to the gym, and I'll have typically around about a litre to a litre and a half during training, and then as the day goes on, I'll start to taper that water intake down. Next thing you might have noticed is the magic potion that I created at the beginning. So basically this is just my multivitamin, okay? This is an all-in-one formula by Apex Formulas. It's got creatine, multivitamins in, and it's got a really good panel of multivitamins, so I don't have to take tons of different pills. So this is what I'll have first thing in the morning. It's something I've been enjoying and actually really like the taste of this as well. On top of that, I will, because this doesn't include it in here, have some omega-3s with that. But again, the sort of multivitamins and taking that first thing in the morning is more of an insurance policy. If there's any little gaps in my nutrition, that will cover it. But also just a little bit of a psychological kind of start to my day, in the sense that I'm having that and setting my morning on a good foot, which will kind of carry on into the rest of the day and carry on to the habits that I do in the rest of the day as well. So the last thing you'll see when I was making my breakfast there is this funny thing, okay? This is actually just pink Himalayan salt, but this device allows you to kind of control the dosage of that salt. Now, do I think it's vitally important for you to have the exact amount of salt each day? No, I think if you have a range, it's probably good. The reason I like to do this and like actually measure the amount of salt I'm having per meal is just to keep things consistent, okay? So I'll know that my electrolyte balance is pretty consistent if I'm controlling that. I'm having pretty much similar food sources every day, and a lot of the foods that I have got a good amount of potassium in them, but just to control my sodium and make sure I'm going to sessions with a good amount of electrolytes in, so I can get a good pump and a good session, I will kind of control the amount of salt I have throughout the day. And this is something that's really important in a prep as well, when potentially towards like a peak week, you might slightly alter and adjust your electrolyte intake. So something like this works well. I would say you can be a little bit more precise with a micro scale. If I do one click of this, it's about 0.1 grams of salt. So that's what I use for this off season. So anyway, I am not going to talk any longer because this is getting cold. I'm going to get stuck into this, and I'll catch you for the next piece, which will be around about pre-workout. So we're outside and I'm on my phone, so apologies if the quality is not the best. This is another little 1%er that you can add, and something that I've really had to work on. And that's one thing, is like, although it looks like everything's perfect for me, some things aren't, and some things I really have to make an effort with. Something I always preach to my clients is just imperfect action. Over time, if you just keep doing it, slip up a little bit, that's all good, but you get back to it, eventually it'll become a lot more consistent. For me, that's getting some sunlight first thing in the morning. Just 5 minutes to get outside, do a little bit of steps. It will really set you up for the day. It'll help with your circadian rhythm, so being able to wake up in the morning and get sleep properly at night. So it's a massive one that can add a huge difference to your sleep routine and to your overall energy throughout the day. So that's another little 1% you can focus on. Get outside, do some steps first thing in the morning, even when you live in a country like Scotland and it's barely light, but you're still getting the benefit of it. Right, we are sat with a big bowl of protein oats for pre-workout. Now, you might be thinking, pre-workout nutrition, that's surely quite a big thing. And yes, you're right. The 1% I want to explain is the fact that I pretty much have this every single training day at the same time. 12:30, I'll eat my pre-workout nutrition and I will train around about 2 to 2:30, okay? Because I've got quite a lot of food going down at the moment, I need just that, and this is a big bowl of oats, I need a little bit longer to digest this. I need around about that hour and a half. In a prep, I'll probably only need an hour. But having that consistency with your routine and having that consistency with timings of meals, and this is where the 1% is that timing, will make a difference in terms of the consistency of your energy in the session, in terms of digestion as well. So it's one thing, if you can, to try and have some sort of structure with your training times, your meal timings, and that is the 1% to focus on. Now, I appreciate a lot of you guys who are watching this video are saying, how is that possible with like a busy job or, work night shifts? Always just try and structure at the beginning of the week so you can get some consistency with routine. I imagine most people's jobs will have some sort of pattern or structure. So always just fit around what works for you and have some timings where, if you've got a variable like work routine, let's say, and you do night shifts, etc., have some different timings. So say, when you're off night shift, you're working throughout the day, maybe your training time's first thing in the morning at 6 o'clock. When you're on night shift, maybe that changes to like 2 o'clock, but have those exact same times and kind of keep some sort of a structure and a pattern in place. It does make a big difference, and it's the same with post-workout nutrition. I'm not going to film that today, but I'll have that about an hour after I train, because I will be hungry at that point and I will need that replenishment of glycogen in that carb heavy post-workout meal, as well as some protein as well, obviously. But another little 1%er that we could add in here is intra-workout nutrition. I don't bother with an EAA, again, because of the amount of protein I'm having throughout the day. And as long as you're taking care of your pre-workout and post-workout nutrition, you're pretty much all good with that protein feeding. And the research on EAAs is pretty inconclusive that they actually show any benefit. There is a little bit more research on intra-workout carbs and them actually having a bit more of a benefit. So especially in your longer sessions. So today is a leg session. So this would be something I include in my workout window, and also another opportunity to get some carbs in when you're pushing body weight quite high in a gaining phase. Is essentially acts as another feeding window to get that intra-workout drink in, and it's calories you don't even realize are going in. And then I will top up with some creatine. That's something I remember to add in here. Although that vitamin drink that had first thing in the morning ritual, that does have some creatine in as well. Some studies now suggesting that actually, a little bit higher creatine consumption can help with cognitive function, so it doesn't harm to have a little bit more. So yeah, that is what I have intra-workout. It's very simple. As I say, I don't go and do excess stuff that I don't think needs to be done, because to me that kind of acts as a bit more of an external stressor. It's more money I have to spend on things. It's more things I have to remember. This is what works really well for me. And you'll find that for yourself as well. You'll find out these little 1% that really add up for you. And it has to be individualized for you. So before I let these oats get too cold, I'm going to crack on with this. And then I will catch up with you guys this evening to chat a little bit more about evening routine and the little 1% I do in the evening, which make a big difference. We are back from the gym. I did get a haircut as well. You might have noticed, looking a little bit fresher. But anyway, little segue before I get into the evening routine bit. Some other small actions that I've been focusing on this off season, which are making a big difference. So my steps, I've been prioritizing steps and keeping a baseline in of 8,000 steps per day. This is, again, a little daily action which seems insignificant, especially when you're in the gaining phase. A lot of people start to slip on this habit, but keep this in and really do your due diligence with your steps, and you'll keep your body weight under control. You're not going to gain excessively because you are keeping control of that level of output. On top of that, I'll make sure I do 2 cardio sessions within the week as well. And again, that will cross transfer over to your performance in the gym in some of those high rep sets, especially as you're getting heavier. It's good to keep that baseline level of fitness there. So keep on top of your steps, keep on top of your cardio, especially if you're in the gaining phase, especially if you're in an off season. These are some habits that can easily slip. Now, posing is something I've been doing as well. I've been making sure I've been doing 2 sessions a week, and it doesn't have to be for a long time. So I'll just do 5 to 10 minutes post session to keep the habits in place. And then I will also do on a check-in day, which is a Wednesday for me, a couple rounds first thing in the morning, okay? It's important that you just keep the habit there, and you maybe look to improve on certain aspects of your posing, like your transitions, changing up little aspects of it to make your physique or to present your physique better. And then as you get closer to your prep, then practicing some more rounds and like the endurance of actually holding your poses. So there's 3 things straight off that I've been focusing on. And again, these are additions to the big rocks. I would say your big rocks are obviously like nailing your training every day, hitting your calorie targets, getting your sleep in. But these are little small additions which will add up over time and make a massive difference to your final outcome of your gaining phase. And finally, we get to the evening routine. And here are some of the little things I've been doing which really help with my sleep. So, sleepy tea. Now, you'll notice this is a pretty small cup. So, I've tapered my water off towards the end of the day. So, I'm not going to the toilet a lot throughout the night. I'll maybe get up once at around about 4 a.m. But to be honest with you, I'm trying to get out that routine. So, lately, I've been just tapering that window off even more. But yeah, small volume of liquid. And really, this is, again, kind of like the pre-workout meal, a bit of a signal to say, right, time to switch off, time to relax. And then you'll notice I'm wearing these funny looking glasses. These are blue light blocking glasses. So if I happen to be on screens, and I'm quite bad for it, but usually what I'll do in the evening is get off my phone, go on my iPad, because my phone I do a lot of work stuff on. My iPad, I just chill, and I don't have like the big social media apps on. I'll just have YouTube. So I'll watch some chill YouTube, or I'll read on my iPad, and that will calm me down. But anyway, the blue light blocking glasses, they suppress any blue light or they stop any blue light, which can suppress melatonin, that hormone that helps you to get sleep. So sleepy tea, blue light blocking glasses on, that signals me to kind of wind down. I'll usually have around about an hour in the evening to wind down. And then when I go to bed, I'll put these like breathe right strips on, nasal strips. I don't do the whole mouth tape stuff, but that just helps me to open my nose and have that deep nasal breathing, which is linked to more or deeper sleep or more relaxing sleep. So this is what I will use in the evening. And these are just the little 1% that work for me throughout this whole video. These are just the little parts of my daily routine, the habits that really help me to improve the big rocks. Like this really helps me to get good quality sleep. The pre-workout routine with the meal timings, that really helps me to go and set up for the gym and really switch on for that session. The supplements in the morning, that sets my morning on a good foot and kind of sets the tone for the rest of the day. So you need to find out what works for you. For you, it might be the ice bath, it might be the compression boots or whatever it is, but find your own little 1% that have a bigger impact to the big rocks that you need to be ticking off, you know, like your training, quality sleep, quality nutrition, okay? Anyway, I'm gonna leave it there because I'm quite tired now, and you probably can tell because I'm rambling on a bit, so I'm gonna enjoy this sleepy tea, and I will say good night to you guys. I'll catch you in the next video.